it's not enough. And a lot of the times men will just settle for women who are pretty but don't have anything to offer, because that woman is going to still take care of the household, still take care of the kids, and be cool with them providing financially because that woman's not doing anything else in her life outside of that. That's zero.
The issue is you think men who have the means to provide for a woman, they want the woman to provide. So much as you have a job and you provide for yourself, but at the same time, if you want a man to provide, that means your money is your money. It's not like you're going to spend the money on me. So you talking about how you have a job, how you can do things for yourself, doesn't benefit me, because at the end of the day, you still want me to provide and pay for the bills. So you telling me how you have a job and you're independent doesn't benefit me. So she thinks when men ask women, what do you bring to the table? She thinks men are talking about her job and the money that she has. But that's not what men are looking for in a woman. At least men, the type of men you want. Now, I understand. No matter what I say, it doesn't matter because she's a beautiful woman. Now, I get it. Some of it might be a filter or some makeup, but you can say that she's a traditionally good-looking woman. So regardless of how she speaks, regardless of the fact that she's a single mom, she's going to have thousands, because now she's on social media, she's going to have thousands of DMs from men because she's a pretty woman, at the end of the day. So that's why it's the ego talking right now.
Shade to the woman. I'm not shading anybody in this at all. But in my situation, I've been forced to be in this grind mode, forced to be in a position where I am playing every single role. And that's just my life and how it is at the moment. And so
it's expected. You're a single mom, so you are required and expected to take care of yourself and take care of your son or daughter. If not, work it out with your baby daddy so you guys can both provide.
Men just don't like that. And this is not for all men, because there are good men out there that are strong within themselves, that are very emotionally aware, that are intelligent, that can communicate. They have all of the things. A lot of them are in relationships. But traditionally, men want to have some type of power. They want to be the leader. They want to be up here. And when I'm also up here, it's not good for them. They don't.
No, that's because, again, you are throwing your independence. You are throwing your job. You're throwing the fact that you're a strong, independent, single mom who doesn't need a job, who doesn't need a man, in their face. There are so many women who make tons of money, who don't throw their degrees and their jobs and the money they earn in a man's face. And they have good relationships. They have good men who take care of them. But you are coming off is that's all you are talking about. You haven't talked about the fact that you're a caring woman. You have not talked about the fact that you can make a good meal. You have not talked about the fact that you can support a man and be, listening skills. You have not talked about the fact that maybe you communicate very well with a man, that you're kind to men, you're empathetic. You have not talked about all those things. The number two things you've been talking about is the fact that you provide for yourself as a single mom, that you have a good job, and you don't need a man. Those are the constant things in the whole video. You have not talked about any other attributes that you bring to a man's life.
They don't like that. They don't feel like a man. That's just for like the weak-minded ones. A real man, in my opinion, would look at a woman like me and be so in awe and want to connect with me and want.
That's because of your beauty. That's because of the face. The face attracts them, but once they find out who you are really deep down, they run off.
To live in such togetherness with somebody who's on the same level as them. So I really encourage you, if you are a woman who's struggling to date, please pour into yourself, become the best version of yourself, and actually make these men step up to provide some value to you. Like, they need to be a good person. They need to know how to talk, because a lot of relational issues lie in the fact that men do not want to work on themselves. They don't want to have that emotional intelligence. They don't want to have that strong communication.
You started off the video by saying you are not the one to blame for all your failed relationships because you're perfect. So who's not working on themselves? You don't have the self-awareness to see that no one is perfect. You don't have the self accountability to look in the mirror and figure out what you did wrong in those failed relationships. And you want to talk about how men don't work on themselves? How are you working on yourself? Don't talk about to us, don't tell us how you got a job and you're a single mom who provides. We don't care about that. Any adult should be able to do that. Let's talk about the intrinsic values.
You're operating at your highest self, you will one day meet somebody who is also operating at their highest self. So I would just never settle. And financial stability is not enough. Please, it's not enough. I've poured so much into myself and making sure that I'm the best version of myself. So there's nothing that could make me believe that I'm the problem. Nobody.
There you go. She said it again. To her, she has been perfect. To her, if we lined up all her ex-boyfriends, if we lined up her boyfriends, her baby daddy, and all the men she has talked to, they would say she's a perfect angel. To her, those were her words, that she's not the problem. To her, when she looks in the mirror, she's perfect. All because she has a job, and she's pretty, and she can pay her bills. To her, that's all that means that she's a perfect woman.
Nobody's perfect in a situation. I'm not saying that. There's issues that arise. I mean, even in the healthiest of relationships, we're humans.
But you just say you're not the problem. Because if you can't say you're not the problem and then in the next sentence say no one is perfect. Okay, since no one is perfect, tell us exactly what you have done wrong in those relationships. Let's hear it.
But I look at dating in the sense of, if something doesn't work out, whether it's me that ends the relationship, if it's the other party that ends the relationship, we're just not meant to be together. And that's okay. I said this in my last video. Nothing has to be wrong with you. Nothing has to be wrong with the other person. If things don't work out, then it just wasn't meant to work out. So don't let your time of singleness make you believe that something's wrong with you or that you should settle, because that's never the case. That's never the case. Take this as opportunity to pour into yourself, to pour into your faith, whatever faith that you practice. Pour into your friends, pour into your hobbies. Whatever effort and energy you pour into yourself is exactly what you're going to get back. And it may not happen in the...
This video was a perfect example of the whole thing of single women keep other women single. Because she's a pretty woman, so she's going to have attraction. And traction, whether on social media or in real life. So there's so many, as you can see, if you look at the first comment right here, so many women agree with her. But I can guarantee you, all the women who agree with her are either women who are single currently, women who are going through a breakup, women who have a conflict in their relationship, and once they see a video like this, they're just going to end their relationships because they feel they are not the problem. If she had preached to women, hey, look in the mirror, self-accountability, figure out what you're doing wrong, apologize, be better to men, treat men better, don't throw your degrees and your jabs in men's faces, she wouldn't have all these women supporting her BS. But that's the current dating market we live in, that, women believe they're perfect. And like I said, she's a good-looking woman. So no matter how many videos she makes of calling herself perfect and, throwing her degree and the jobs in men's faces, she's going to have men in her DMs regardless.